this topic.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Imam Faheem Shuaibe, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Perfect.
Tell me about M.A.R.I.A.M and how you got it started and what your plans are for this organization.
Alhamdulillah, Nisa, it's an honor and pleasure to have the camera turned on me. The M.A.R.I.A.M event, the M.A.R.I.A.M Institute, is the Muslim American Research Institute advocating marriage. It's primarily a research institute as opposed to a situation where we're trying to get people in the same room, do some speed dating, find out if you're going to get together and then move on from there. No, we're trying to deal with what we call the chronic issue of the lack of marriage among Muslims primarily, but again, it's for African Americans in general on the first step. Let's take care of us first and we'll deal with others as we go along. Well, it really came about 2 years ago at Kankakee. There was a marriage conference, and I have been traditionally invited to marriage conferences for offering advice and consultation and skills training in the area. And we got to the point where we were doing the question and answers, and the question and answers were the same questions all the time. And I sort of hit the wall in a manner of speaking. But it hit the wall in saying that we can't continue to ask these same questions, have these same chronic problems, and not have a way to really address them. But they can't be addressed in a short-term manner. They have to be addressed in a long-term manner. So I promised them, while I would not answer any more questions there, even though there were other panelists, and the other panelists continued to answer questions, and I was still welcome. There was no problem, because I was a very known person there. But at the same time, I said I would start an institute. And the M.A.R.I.A.M Institute began there. And we have conducted these workshop, conference, seminars in several areas, locations in the country: Houston, Oakland, Raleigh, North Carolina, Cincinnati, in the Midwest. So we're continuing to try to garner and gain more information. We do online surveys to try to get more and more information as to actually what the thinking is about certain critical issues among Muslims. And then we massage that material and try to put it back out there so that people have some basis upon which to make decisions about how to find a mate and the like. M.A.R.I.A.M has basically 4 areas that each of its conferences incorporates. One is the Shura function. The Shura function, and these are not in order of importance, but the Shura function is the function of mutual consultation. So we have these breakout groups on critical questions that have come out of the survey, and we have people talk about them and try to get to what are some of the answers to some of these problems that we see. The central question is, what is the main obstacle to marriages as you see it? So we share the information, and we come back and report back from the groups, and then we distill it down to what seems to be the number one issue. So we do that through the Shura function. And once we identify what the critical issue is, then we design programs of training that will enable individuals to know how to approach whatever that issue might be. Let's take, for example, communication is always a big issue across the board when we talk. The inability to really communicate in ways that are functional and ways that are useful. So we have the male-female communications boot camp, where the individuals can get the understanding of what is involved in communication in general, and then what is involved in intra-gender communication, that is male-female communication. And so we give training in there. So that's the other function, the training function. So we have the Shura function, training function, and then we have the research function, which I've already been mentioning. That is to say, a part of the Shura activity is also a part of the research activity, so that we take these focus groups and take their opinions and take their responses and begin to try to craft an approach to that particular problem or issue, whatever it may be. And so that's the research function. And then finally, the social networking function. The social networking function is that, well, yeah, alhamdulillah, if there's an opportunity for you to find someone that there's some possibilities for marriage with while you're at the M.A.R.I.A.M conference, that's fine. And it's not to diminish that, but again, it's to sort of think outside the box, kind of go against the grain and not have these artificial expectations as to what a weekend conference is supposed to do. You know, it's like one of the most important things that happen in your life is supposed to happen over a weekend with a perfect stranger. No, that's not going to happen. So bringing that reality is a part of what M.A.R.I.A.M is about. And of course, you know, it's a play on both on the words itself. You know, M.A.R.I.A.M is just that. That's what we want to do. We want to marry him, right? And the other thing, you know, M.A.R.I.A.M is the mother of Jesus, and she was a single mother. Right? And so when you think about it in those terms, that also lets you know what our underlying objective actually is.
Fabulous.